we are building more and more use cases of digitization into our community system platforms. So doing more for importers, exporters, or traditionally very disconnected from this whole logistics movement, etc. And building new products for the industry. So we were doing ocean ports, we were doing airports, we were doing rail freight operators, and now we have also started doing land ports. So we just, because this is a massive industry, for what we do, there seems to be a humongous market.
Hello everyone, I'm Nehal Gautam from Start Media Group, and today we are at Air Cargo India, and we have with us Mr. Amar More. He's the co-founder and CEO of Kale Logistics Solutions. So sir, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure, Mayor.
So to begin with, Kale will be implementing an air cargo community system for Istanbul Grand Airport, and it will be making the first Turkey airport to embark its digitalized cargo data exchange.
Right.
So could you discuss on the role of technology and digitalization in optimizing cargo operations and facilitating trade at airports?
Sure, absolutely. So, if you look at what these community systems do, is they solve three key problems in the industry. Problem number one, slow movement of cargo or goods, which typically causes congestion at the airports, right? Problem number two is the humongous amount of paperwork that happens at the airport. On average, an air cargo shipment is accompanied by 30 types of documents and 124 copies of paper. And in today's day and age, that's not required. You can move cargo much more efficiently. And problem number three is this whole thing about visibility, where exactly my shipment is. So these are the three key problems that the community system tries to solve. Now, why does the cargo start moving slowly? There are four reasons why cargo moves slowly through an airport. Number one, most trucks come with cargo around the same time to the airport, and that causes a load on the resources. And it's like peak time in traffic. When a lot of vehicles come together, you have congestion. Reason number two, there is still a lot of paperwork that happens at the airport. So truck comes, truck stops, and then the driver or the forwarder's man is going from one counter to another to do this paperwork, and 10 other trucks are waiting behind this truck. Reason number three for slow movement of cargo is the handlers at the airport have very little idea between tomorrow 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock how many trucks are coming, what are they bringing. So only after the truck comes, they start looking at, oh, this is radioactive material, so I need to have special people to handle this. And when they're doing all of that, 10 trucks are waiting. And reason number four, trucks for whom cargo is not even ready, they just come and stand in the queue causing congestion. So cargo community systems address all these problems. And the way they address it is, even before the truck leaves towards the airport, all the paperwork that was supposed to happen at the airport is all done in the cloud. So, the truck doesn't have to wait for any paperwork at the airport. Secondly, in terms of this whole planning, right? So, because we ask the cargo community system users to advise the airport or the handler when are they going to bring truck to the airport, right? So they have to say, I'm going to bring it between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. That solves two problems. One is this bunching of trucks doesn't happen. And then second is the handlers at the airport now know that between 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock, I'm expecting 100 trucks with this type of cargo. So they're ready for that. So like this cargo community system, they solve all these problems. And when you're exchanging data electronically, you don't need to produce those 124 copies of paper. Only whatever is required by law is what you need to produce in the form of a paper. Everything else can be digitized. So, you eliminate the second problem. And the third problem is, because most of these stakeholders are onto the common platform, you have visibility of where exactly your shipment is. So that's the way community systems solve these critical problems in the industry.
The Kale Logistics achieving milestones, deploying ACS globally and receiving like about $30 million in Series B funding. How does the company plan to utilize this funding to expand its industry presence and develop the system for global logistics transformation?
Absolutely. So three things, right? I mean, we started from India, but today as we speak, we are serving 5,000 plus customers across 38 countries. And almost every fortnight, we have another country getting added to our portfolio, right? So we raised $30 million to fund our global expansion. We have our own team members now in 11 countries across the world. So one thing is supporting the implementations of community systems globally. Second is we are building more and more use cases of digitization into our community system platforms, so doing more for importers, exporters, or traditionally very disconnected from this whole logistics movement, etc., and building new products for the industry. So we were doing ocean ports, we were doing airports, we were doing rail freight operators, and now we have also started doing land ports. So we just, because this is a massive industry, for what we do, there seems to be a humongous market, and we are going to use this Series B funding to fuel our global expansion plans and do product development.
Okay. So, in the light of the increasing emphasis on sustainability and environmental responsibility, how does Kale Logistics integrate these principles into business operations and product development strategies?
Oh, absolutely. We all need to leave a sustainable planet for our next generation, right? So I'll tell you how we, through our community system platforms, how we sort of bring in sustainability. So number one, I mentioned to you that an average air cargo shipment has 124 copies of paper. Out of that, only about 20%, 25% are required by law. So the remaining 100 or copies of paper can be dispensed with. If you take an airport with 1 million tons of cargo, that's typically 1.4 million shipments. So you're talking about 140 million copies of paper that can potentially be eliminated. And you know how many trees does it mean? It means 14,000 trees on an annual basis that you can save by doing this. And that's a huge shout out to this whole sustainability pitch. Secondly, we reduce this congestion at the airports and ports. So an average truck which is standing in the queue idling is burning zero point 0.6 gallons per hour, of fuel, right? And that is sort of 1 gallon of fuel typically emits about 10,000 grams of CO2. So again, if I take a case of a 1 million ton airport, you're talking about billions of grams of CO2 being saved if you just eliminate 1 or 2 hours of truck wait time, right? So that's how sustainability is inbuilt into what we are doing, right? And we did these things first, and the whole noise around sustainability is becoming louder now. But we have been doing this for our customers and community for quite some time now.
How does Kale plan to scale up and deploy this ACS system in North America and Europe? And any other specific market or regions within these geographies that you'll be prioritizing for the expansion?
Oh, absolutely. So we have tremendous opportunity in North America. One of the reasons I've relocated there is, because we started working with several airports, to be precise, around 8 or 9 airports in one port, right? So we are now building a team in North America. We already have our team members in Canada, in the US, on the East Coast, on the West Coast, in South America as well, right? So all these problems that we solve very effectively at the very complicated airports in the world, and airports that were land constrained, give tremendous opportunity to North American airports to look at how they can streamline the whole cargo process, how they can make it more efficient, how they can attract more cargo to the airport. So our plan is to grow this team in the United States. We may end up doing some acquisitions in the United States and or North America in general. So that's the thing that we are doing there. Obviously, we have also signed up with a couple of European airports now. We will be pumping up our European operations in a year or two. And in Asia Pacific, we already have a huge, footprint. So that's how we plan to grow and scale, across the world.
See, as the logistic industry continues to evolve, what are some emerging trends or technology that you are particularly excited about? And how does the company plan to capitalize on these trends?
Needless to say, artificial intelligence is the first one, right? So we are using artificial intelligence, and we always say what we recommend to our customers, we have to try it out on us first, and that's what we have done. So Kale, we have an internal AI portal. We call it Kite, Kaite. Kale is here, and we use that portal to facilitate our software development implementation activities. But to our end customers, we have several use cases of artificial intelligence that we have built in our product. So our truck slot management system, which addresses the congestion issues at the airport. I mean, it's a module of our community system. It is based on AI principles. It can actually guess how much time the truck is going to spend at a dock for loading, unloading, and then you can dynamically plan the operations. We also have machine learning models that we have implemented. So in logistics, one of the ways to remove paper is to convert this whole, paper data, or data that can be in the form of a PDF document, to the actual system data. And we have a machine learning component that we built in our community system that does that. We are also working with other technologies like Internet of Things. So we have developed use cases for pharmaceutical shipment tracking, or you can call it Uberization of trucks, or just like, when an Uber taxi comes around, you get to see that the driver is in the vicinity. Similar things around the trucks. When they enter the airport perimeter, they can check themselves in. So things like that. So we are working on AI, ML, Internet of Things. We have done a proof of concept of blockchain connecting two different airports, an European airport and an Indian airport, using blockchain principles. So technology is definitely going to play a very important role, and we are already, on that path.
So, apart from your plans for North America and Europe, any other insights that you can give for your upcoming projects or initiatives?
So, as I said, we are expanding not just in one mode of transport, which is air, but we have recently signed up with several maritime focused economies on developing port community systems. Okay. And this is in North America, this is in Middle East, this is in Asia Pacific. So these are large maritime economies. And at appropriate point in time, we will do these press releases and media announcements. We have developed a rail freight community, if you will, so rail freight stakeholders interacting with each other. Then, as I said, we are also now digitizing land ports. So again, countries where the international trade happens through land borders, just facilitating that through our community system platform. So some very, very marquee projects are there. We also developed a very unique system for importers exporters, wherein they can communicate with their transportation partners or logistics partners using a single window environment. And that is something where we have very, very marquee customers, and that market, is something which is massive. It is much beyond what we are doing. But that's another area. In the coming, let's say, 3-4 years, we will divert significant energy into taking it to global market. So there are new markets happening and new products. So it's like a matrix. That's how we see our growth.
So, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Same here. Thank you so much.